I would like to read the foreword to one of my favorite books, which is part of one of my favorite series. It is the book entitled Death in the Silent Places by Peter Hathaway Capstick. Capstick was a stockbroker who grew bored of the New York lifestyle and became a professional safari guide and hunter in Africa in the mid part of the 1900s. The foreword to this book is portrayed in very politically incorrect language, but I believe that it holds a valuable lesson for us, a reminder for us that the world outside of our internet bubble, our Twitter bubble, our American bubble is very different from the world that we choose to look at every single day, the world inside of our bubble. This is the foreword to Death in the Silent Places. It has been said that romantic adventure is violence in retrospect. I am a retrospective man, and this, although possibly not romantic, is a book about violent adventure. To what would be the sincere regret of most of the characters portrayed, it is also a work of nonfiction. This is not a book about heroes, although some of the people spoken of were unquestionably heroic. It is a collection of extraordinary events and often ordinary men under circumstances of primitive and savage stress. If bravery is the performance of an act despite great personal fear and risk, then we may certainly say that they were all brave. A few may have even been noble, but I'll let you pass on that. As I am a veteran of the Silent Places through my career as a professional hunter in Central Africa and South America, you will understand that the men I have chosen were hunters, either of dangerous animals or the most deadly prey, man. I have shared their way of life to some degree, and in many cases spent time where they had years before. I know the terror a man-eating cat can generate, and I know what it feels like to stalk an armed enemy through the long grass and rocky hills. To be privileged to tell these men's stories in my own words, however, is the closest association I can claim to their deeds. Today, in a culture where real physical risk is largely limited to changing lanes on a freeway or being bludgeoned in your bed by some over-enthusiastic hophead in dire need of whatever the latest chemical escape from reality may be, the contemplation of a lifestyle in which you may be pulled down and dragged off at any dark moment by a man-eating lion, tiger, or leopard is almost beyond comprehension. But it still happens every day in Africa and Asia, and may be taking place as you read these words. Capsulized as we are in a world in which our electronically vicarious thrills and Hollywoodized nature shows are served up over the flash-frozen, microwave-revived, mass-prepared corpse of some long-dead chicken in its disposable aluminum coffin, segmented by insipid feminine hygiene product commercials, it's not all that easy to remember, let alone relate to, the fact that we once were, and still are, hunters, as in predators. Because of our largely urbanized existence, I suspect that some readers may find this book gory. If this is so, then it is because the truth is gory. In our carefully insulated world of the West, genuinely violent death and its aftermath are visual rarities, although even a few hours of any evening on any network will provide an almost unbelievable casualty list of shooting, explosion, strangling, poisoning, drowning, and more thoughtfully disposed of victims. But not real death. In our society, that inevitability is neatly and sanitarily packaged in obituaries, memorial services, and checks to charities, which seem to vie for ever more unpronounceable and dreaded diseases to stamp out. Alas, death is not so neat in the Silent Places. Peter Hathaway Capstick, Naples, Florida, August 1980. If you enjoyed this reading, do let me know. I am considering reading the first chapter on this channel, a story of perseverance, bravery, and tenacity, the story of Lieutenant Colonel John Henry Patterson and the man-eating lions of Tsavo Bridge. Let me know if you'd like to hear that. Thanks for listening.